What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Rags to Riches. Before we start, I just want to say thank you to everyone for all the amazing feedback on episode 1. Super cool to see people actually enjoying the series already and liking the concept. Such an amazing feeling, getting nice comments and everything, so I appreciate every one of you. This is episode 2 of my journey from around 30k to 100k net worth, and I'm bringing you with me every step of the way, as usual. We're gonna start off by checking the net worth, then we're gonna go through my notes, and after that we'll jump into the poker sessions. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So I'm gonna start off by showing my net worth. It looks like I forgot to do this last time. I really thought I did. So you'll see a start here, and we'll see a value here. Debt, interest, blah blah blah. So this was actually from the last video, because of course we need to see a starting point. But apparently I forgot to show it. I don't know why, that was really stupid of me. I'm really sorry. But we'll go through it this time, and I'll compensate for missing it last time. So let's start with assets. Of course we have stocks. I have quite a lot of stocks, and it's not a trust fund. I'm not a trust fund baby, you know. It just, I work the whole year and I try to save as much as possible, you know, and invest and learn all about that. So I'm happy with this. I'm very proud of this as a 20-year-old. And as you can see, it obviously has gone down compared to the start. And everyone who invests in the stock market will know that it has been a rough week. So this is not strange. And you know, it happens from time to time. You know, the stock market goes up and down, but it's the long term that matters. So, you know, we'll just sit still in the boat and yeah, we'll wait for better times. And then we have the poker bankroll. I started with putting in $50 into PokerStars. And you might remember we made $2 last time, but it's back down to $50. And you'll see why in the poker sessions, and I'll go through it in the notes too. And this is also, as I said, we're still learning, and it doesn't really matter in the short term. Even when you're a good poker player, this happens too, you know. One session might be bad, the next two might be good, the next one might be bad again, you know. It's up and down here as well. And then cash, this is just the money I have in my bank account. So total assets amounts to $29,661. And from the start it was $30,988. And of course, the big difference here is because the stock dropped. And, you know, it's nothing to worry about. It will go up again. So this is fine. Then we have the debts, which is not as fun. We'll start off with our car loan. It's $11,979. But it's a 0% interest rate, which you might see. And the only reason I actually bought this car is because I could get it on a 0% interest rate. And this, it's very lucky. I bought it from my grandparents, so I know I'm lucky with this 0%. And I would not have bought a car at my age if I didn't get the 0% interest. If our goal is to, you know, get to 100k net worth. Because, you know, a car is pretty much, it's just, you're just losing money pretty much. And then we have the student loans. I've only been studying for 3 months. So it's only $2,187.50. But you might see as well, it's only 1.5 interest. And that is the only reason why I took the student loan. Because this goes into here, into stocks. The only thing I do with my student loan is invest it. Because 1.5 interest, compared to, let's say I make 8 to 10% every year in the stock market, 8 to 10% is a lot bigger than 1.5%. So me, who's a long-term investor, you know, we want to reach the 100k net worth, and then we have another couple of goals, you know, 250k, 500k, 1 million, of course. This loan is beneficial. We want to take this because it gives us extra money to work with, and of course our investing journey will go faster. It's a good loan, you know. It generates money pretty much over time, of course. This is just I don't know. I don't really know why I have this, but it's just in case, you know, in case I get some weird loans. And then we have the total debt. It amounts to $14,166.50. It's quite a lot, but a lot of it is the car loan and a little bit is the student loans, but the student loan is good. And then we have the net worth, which is $15,494.50. I'm very happy with this as a 20-year-old. You know, I think it's very good, and I think it's a very good start for a road to 100k, because this is gonna take a while, you know. So I think we have a good start. Okay, now let's check out the notes. I did show you guys this last time, but of course I'll show it again at the very end. This time I did not add a lot, because the things I learned, it was not a lot of information, but what I learned was, it was quite depth, you know. I didn't just learn from the book this time, I also learned from AI. The book is amazing, don't get me wrong, but it does miss a lot of things because the book is just fundamental. I complemented a little bit with AI, and all of a sudden I was so much more deep into poker. So the things I added to the notes were not a lot, but they were really helpful. So I'll show them right now. Before we had flat calling here, we had small and mid pocket pairs, we had broadways, we had pseudo connection. But I learned from the AI that when I'm not in position, I should avoid king and joker, queen and joker. And also, if we're not in position, we should avoid small and mid pocket pairs completely, which I did not do the first video. And this time in the book, I read about postflop, which is very important apparently. It's where good players excel from the rest. And this postflop, I only added after my first session of today's poker sessions, because the first session, it had been like 1 or 2 days since I last played poker. So I wanted to go through all the notes again. And you can see in session 2 and 3 that my game was a lot better, and I was always in a lot better positions, and I felt a lot more comfortable just by adding this. So this was extremely helpful and already made me a lot better. I don't want to take out anything in advance. I'm not a good player yet, of course, but this helped me feel more comfortable, you know. I was in better positions. So for session 2 and 3, I added this to my game. I focused on the post-flop part of tag strategy. The main thing I went through were how important it is to keep the betting lead after the flop, and why we should c-bet most of the time if we raised pre-flop. Especially heads up, you know, 1-to-1. I also learned how our c-bet frequency changes depending on the situation. Around 75% heads up on dry boards, and if you read my notes later, you'll see when. And then a bit lower if I'm facing more opponents. Since more players equals higher chance of someone having something. So when we c-bet here, we really want to have something. Basically, we're trying to build the habit of continuing when we're in good positions. You know, we have good hands. We can back ourselves up. You know, that gives us confidence too, which is good. And, you know, we don't have to let emotions control us and make us overplay weak hands. So yeah, I'm still in the learning process. You know, we're not even close to being a good player. But this has helped me feel a lot better and, you know, a lot more confident. And also the positioning after I learned this, I was in so much better positions. And the personal note down here is something that I learned. You know, this one, if you're having a tough day, I think we all know that, you know, even good players have tough days sometimes. And you will see that in session 1, I had such a tough day. And this one I also learned the hard way, and I will explain it in session 1. So now I'll go through the notes like I did in the last video, so you guys can pause and copy the notes or read them through, whatever you want to do. I'm sorry for that long intro, but, you know, we had to go through everything in the net worth from the beginning because I forgot to do it in the past video. So everything that I just did, the notes and the net worth, it will go a lot faster in the next video, so we'll see more poker, which I think is what you guys enjoy. I know you enjoyed the numbers too, because that's literally the goal of the series. But yeah, I will improve, you know, this is just my second video, so go easy on me. Anyway, first session here. I remember this is session 1, where I didn't know about the new notes because I hadn't done them yet. I repeated the old notes because it had been a while since I played poker. So session 1, you will see will be a big difference between this and session 2 and 3, and I'll show you even sometimes because now I have more knowledge. So this is actually good because now I will 100% know what mistakes I did. We're out of position by, you know, but this is a dry board. So right now I would have done a c-bet. I think I'm gonna do it anyways because before, when I read the notes, I went for c-bets all the time. That was the only thing I did because I didn't even know what to do post-flop, you know. Few raises. I call. A 5 comes up. Now this is kind of bad because he could have caller now. So I check. He bets. I'll probably fold here. This was a good fold. That I think he could have had a low ladder, which is a very low chance, or he could even have color. So I think this was a good defensive fold. Now the next game we have pocket 5s. We're out of position. This is something we would not have called before, you know. Because where are we? We're out of position. And what does the new note say? You should not flat call with small and mid-pocket pairs. So we would not have been in this bad position. It's now in a tough spot. This is a wet board. I didn't know what wet board meant at this time. And, you know, they could have a lot of good connections here. It could have even higher cards. And I have pocket fives. So I'm in a bad spot and I have to act first as well. But I do raise, which I shouldn't have done. Rodri falls though, which is good for us. That card is good for us, but still. And now he has a big chance of a ladder here. I put myself in a really bad spot here. So if I had known the notes, I would not even be playing these cards. So that's what I mean when I tell you the notes put me in a lot better positions. Because he wins this hand, you know. Now, next hand, Ace King. This is good. We're in position too. And we're first in, so of course we're... Oh. Good start. Dry board as well. We still didn't know because this is still session 1. But I shake. Now I know I should raise there every single time. I don't think it will affect the game anyway, because I know this game is where I learn a big lesson. But I should raise there. Now he raises, I call. I get another ace. I have 3 of a kind. I have the next best thing on this board. It goes all in. I'm thinking, oh, this is a bluff. He has ace J. He has the absolutely best thing. And you see, at this board, I have the next best thing, I think, probably. So even though I lost this is where I lost the big money, you know, the $2. I lost everything. But in the future, I should still call this, because I started asking AI and he said, oh, you did a right call, because this is a value bet, you know. The chances of him having the absolutely best here is so low. So you should still call this all in. Maybe all in was a little bit extreme. But if he raises like 80% of the pot, I should call that, you know. I lost now, but you know, next time I might win. This type of situation, I probably would win 80-90% of the time. So calling these over and over and over, eventually, you know, it will give you value. It will make you money. So we learned a big lesson here. And after this, I think I just checked out, you know, which is good, which is exactly what you should do when this happens. Especially since I was fuming. So I can be happy about that. I made the right decision. The chances of him having the absolute best are so low. The only thing I could really think about is when he goes all in. So yeah, good play, good play. Now, this is session 2. Session 2 was a little bit boring. Not a lot happened. Start off with ace 10. We're out of position. Over ace, which we should, because this is a good hand. He calls. Oh. That's fucking good. The only problem here is the potential of color, but he has already checked. And I also check because I'm scared of the color. But now I have full house. And he checks again. And of course, I want to raise. I should raise. I need to raise. You know, I need to make money from this. But he doesn't have color and he folds. And this is the thing. If you compare this to the last session, now I have the best cards. This could have gone the same way, but in my favor, you know? So this is why you should keep playing them. And this is also why, you know, sometimes you have good days and sometimes you have bad days. Sometimes you have players. If he would have called me here and just kept going, you know, I probably would have won this hand. So that's why you can have bad days and good days. That's why you need to stay composed and keep yourself to your plan. So this was just an example game, you know. This was 0. This was 12 cents, you know. Now session 2, still Queen J, strong hand, you know. Okay, this is a little weird. I think I checked. Okay, I think that was a mistake here. I should have raised. Because yeah, that's one hell of a position, you know. And I think I have to check here. I probably should raise still, make a c-bet here. But the only reason why I checked was because, you know, I didn't want them to fold. But in the future, I will c-bet here all the time. This was a tough lobby too, because everyone just, you know, they only raised with like $0.02 and... I was thinking about raising her, I think. The only problem here is potential color. Oh. Apparently I don't believe it has color, so I just raised. And it was a good call. I won it. So that was good. Still session 2 here, and now you see, he raised before me. I'm in position, but he raised before me, so I don't have the betting lead. And what should we avoid with a flat calling range? Queen J. What do I not do? I call, which I should not do. Good position for me here though. So I raised, that's good. Go, ladder. You know, I keep playing aggressive because I have a straight. But what I was hoping for here was to get the color here, you know. And now when I didn't, the chances of him having it instead is high. So hopefully I check or fold here. Yeah. Because he had a color. Session 3 now. Sorry, I'm in the way. I raised, calls, good raise, you know, in position, good cards. And the only reason why I really show this game is because this is literally the only second hand of this poker session. There was anything to show. That's how dead these 3 sessions were. The first session wasn't dead, it was just, I was unlucky with that one. Because this is literally all that happens. And he folds. That was everything that happened. So now this is literally like 30 minutes later. I think this is my last game of the session. I would not have called here if it wasn't for the only reason that they raised with 0.04. Otherwise I would have folded here because I should. Because this is a flat call. But I do call. And so does Mike. So we are 4 players now. And I do have something. I do have a good pair. I don't have a top pair. But I make a c-bet, which I think is the right decision here. The only problem really is color potential. Almost everyone calls. And I think the 9 is a good card for me. You know, the ladder is still there. But, you know, they need one more card for it to happen. So I raise, which I think is good. They both call. And that is perfect. That's so good for me. Literally no one can have better than me except pocket aces, right? Because the color is gone, the straight is gone, there's no potential, so I'm in perfect position here. So I raise, which is good. One folds, one calls. I win this. What I potentially could have done, did I raise, sorry, let me go back. I raised 50%. What I could have done is maybe raised 70% or 75% to try and get a little bit more value, which I should probably have done. So that was good. That was a good hand. Not a lot of gameplay because session 2 and session 3 it was very dead. Maybe for the next episode I will try and play 45-minute session instead of 30 minutes. I kept it at 30 minutes because I just want to learn. I don't want to make money. But I might go for 45 minutes to, you know, have more gameplay, and of course more minutes usually means you get better at the game because you play it more. Alright guys, that's it for today's 3 sessions. Let's quickly recap. Session 1 wasn't bad at all. Sure, we lost money, but we learned something really important. You can actually play good poker and still lose. That's the game. And we also talked about value betting, which was a great takeaway. Session 2 was pretty dead though. Since I only played 30-minute sessions right now, some sessions will naturally have just a few hands. That's part of the microstage grind. But overall, we felt more confident thanks to the new post-flop notes that we learned, so that was positive. Session 3 was solid too. Also a bit slow, but we played well, and we actually handled almost the exact same spot. We lost money in during session 1, but this time we made money instead. And that just shows what we talked about value, you know, eventually we'll actually win. Anyway, results today. Session 1, minus $2.5. Session 2, plus $0.5. Session 3, plus $1. So overall we lost a little today, but that's completely fine. Right now it's about learning, not profits, and mentally bouncing back after session 1 is actually a win in itself, because you need great mentality for poker, so that's a good sign. Another thing that I will think about is though if I should extend my sessions to 45 minutes instead of 30, in order to get more gameplay and also, you know, bigger chance of every session having good hands. Plus, you know, more minutes should equal a better player. All-time winnings are now $1.6, so still up overall, which is, it's nice. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hey, this is only my second time still, so go easy on me. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.